Hey guys, James here with Cinegears, and today I'm excited because we get to talk about the new Espresso hand controller. This little controller does almost everything the standard controller does in a quarter of the size. It fits in the palm of your hand, you can put it in your back pocket, it's out of the way. It does almost all of the same options as the standard with only 3 buttons on it. It's very simple. It's just a combination of different buttons together to get you the different options. So the record button, if you hold it in for a few seconds, that's your on and off button. Turn it on, good to go. This shows you how much battery you have. Moving on to our motor, same as the full-size controllers, you're going to want to synchronize it with your motor. It's very simple. You're going to press the motor button for 3 seconds. The light changes, press all 3 buttons on the control at the same time until it syncs. Now it's synced together. Next thing we're going to do is map our lens. When you have a cinema lens, you have hard stops. To synchronize, to do the auto remapping, you're going to press the record button and A button together for 3 seconds. The motor will go through the entire focus range, same as regular controller. Now if you have a lens that does not have hard stops, you're going to do the same thing but with pressing record and B together for 3 seconds. S1 is going to start flashing. You're going to press on A for 3 seconds until the motor starts turning. And when you reach your minimum focusing distance, press on A again. If you went past, you can press on B, do a few little micro adjustments here. There we go. Once you've got your minimum focusing distance, you press on record and you move on to S2. That's your infinity. Press on B. That will make the motor spin in the opposite direction. Once you reach the infinity point, you press on B again. Motor is going to stop. And I'm not quite there, so there we go. Press on record. And we're set. Infinity to minimum focusing distance. Very simple. There's a few other options. There's a few other controls on this. If you press on A and B together for 3 seconds, you'll access the control menu. The first function is the speed at which the motor rotates between preset points. So A and B, because you can set 2 preset points. To enter, press record. So that's the same as select. And we're going to move up and down depending on how fast we want the motor to move. Once you've selected, record. Let's get here 10 feet. That's going to be A. Press for 3 seconds. That's selected. I'm going to go to 60 here. And we're going to press on B. Once it flashes, our points are selected. Press on A. B, back to normal. If I decide it's not fast enough, again, A and B together. Go a little bit faster. Let's go 10 here. There you go. Let's say I'm using a Ronin or a Steadicam or anything like that, and I don't want 300 degrees of rotation on my controller. Here's what I can do. In your menu, in your functions, you can go to function 5, and you can actually dictate to your controller how much range I want. So let's say I want to start here. That's range. This is where it's going to start. And I want my full range of focus to stop 45 degrees past that. So now everything is going to happen within that range. So I've remapped my controller now, and I don't get the full 360 degrees of rotation, and it's a lot easier when you're controlling on a Ronin or something like that to actually go from infinity to minimum focusing distance with one finger. Less rotation, more travel on the lens. It's nice and simple, and it's out of the way. Your controls are right here at your fingertip. Record is right there. Install your record, start, stop button on your camera. So for crane work, it's amazing. For Steadicam, it's also amazing. And for gimbal work, you don't need an AC anymore. You can do all of your stuff with your hands right there. And if I decide that I want the full range again, then we do the same thing again. This is the beginning, and my range is to the end. And there we go. We are back to a full 300 degrees of rotation on our controller. So it's really easy to customize this little controller for what you are doing. Many different things, many different situations. You can stick it into really hard, like we showed earlier, really hard to reach places. It's nice and lightweight. If you have a light camera, it's not going to add a lot of weight to it. If you have a crane and you need to be careful with the amount of weight that you have on it, this is perfect for it. And one other nice feature about these little controllers is that you can control 2 motors with 1 controller. And it's very simple. We press on both of these at the same time. They both go green. And you sync with this. Both motors are now being controlled by 1 remote. Now in this case it makes no sense, but when you're doing 3D work, you want both lenses to be focusing at the same time, same distance, everything the same. It's actually quite important, and you can do it with this little guy, standard size. All you gotta do is buy one of these kits and then an extra motor, and you're good to go. So in this case here, my motors are going in opposite directions. If I need both my motors to be going in the same direction, all I have to do is go on the motor that needs to be changed and press on it. And now both my motors are going in the same direction. Nice and easy. It has hard stops, both sides, which is really nice. A few markings here because you can use it as a full-size hand controller, just like that. There's another piece that goes here and has a marker on it that you can use. Very, very simple. It has a multitude of attaching options. You have quarter 20 holes on each side, quarter 20 hole at the back. You also have a Velcro slot at the back. Ronin handle. Check this out. Put it on here. Good to go. While you're operating. Do the same thing with your Steadicam. Put it on the end of your crane. Here's another option for you. We even include a rod mount. I'm going to put it on my camera and use it as a regular follow focus wheel. Look at that. You can put it at the front, at the back, put it on the handle on your crane. You can do just about anything with it. All right, so the Espresso controller, it's about 1/4 the size as a regular controller. Check this out. Huh? Pretty sweet. Really nice, low profile, lightweight. It's durable. It's all made out of CNC machined aluminum. The little hand knobs, same thing. Stainless steel hardware all around. When you install the the bigger hand wheel here, we add this extra plate. Again, aluminum, hard anodized, 2 little bolts in here to hold it in place. So when you want to go with the full-size hand wheel, you'll notice there's 3 magnets inside of it, and there's also a set pin. So you could buy, let's say you have 5 cinema lenses, you can custom mark every single one of these. Let's say this is my 85mm lens, this one's for my 50. When you put them on, they're actually always going to be at the same place, and your marks will never move. So you could buy 5 of these, have a hand wheel marked, ready to go for each different lens that you have. And they're easily swappable like this. And they will not slip while you're using it because of that set pin that is inside right there. So it's very, very well built, high quality aluminum. Everything is CNC machined, hard anodized. The finish is going to last a really long time. The hand wheel is nice and smooth. There's no rubbing. The antenna is made out of rubber, so it's harder to break. It can fold around and it won't break on you when you're using it. So over the past few months, Cinegears has spent a lot of time doing research and development on this little unit that you see here. It didn't start like this. It started like this, just a tiny little box and an idea. We had a couple of 1/4-20 holes in it. We had this little tab that sticks out to put the Velcro through, and we're gonna have this really, really small little finger wheel. They realized that this smaller finger wheel probably wouldn't work. We need something that we could feel a little bit better and you could control your focus with a little bit better. And then they also realized that if we're gonna have something like this, we need different options for attaching it to our cameras or the devices that we're using. So after thinking about that, they decided that they would include these holes here, which are the rod attachment, one on each side. And then the finger wheel became a little bit bigger. It had these rubber O-rings on it, and it's nice, but it's kind of rough on the fingers if you're going to be using it all day. And finally, they decided on this version here. The finger wheel is much nicer for your fingers, smoother. They also included another set of holes for a rod clamp at the back, and you can see now the Velcro attachment is flat with the controller, so it's a lot easier to install it onto your handle because it's nice and flush with it. That's it. Cinegears Espresso controller. Have fun.